Hey guys, Morgan from Rebellious Reading. We talk about all things books, and it's time for another TBR game. I did mention that I was going to be doing more than one this month, and possibly a lot of them going forward. So, I'm going to be playing Covers with Cassidy's game, Snakes and TBR Stacks. So, I was able to find a printout of, the old school version of this game that she had when she was first starting it. So that's what we're going with. And I'm kind of glad because the prompts on that original version are super vague. Like, there's a humans prompt. So basically how this is going to work is I'm going to roll 2 6-sided dice, use this little orange bunny to go across the board, as usual. And every prompt I land on, I have to pick a book for. And basically how this works is it just loops back around. You go from here to here to here to here, and then when you get to here, you go back over here. And if you land on a ladder, you get to go up. And if you land on a snake, you have to go down, and you end up having to add an extra roll. So I'm going to be doing 6 rolls on this. So, let's play Snakes and TBR Stacks. Six. Okay. Multi-POV. Okay, I think I can do that. Okay, so for our first prompt we got multi-POV. And for this I'm going with The Stopover by T.L. Swan. I started this book a while ago and never finished it. It's a billionaire romance. It's the first in a series of 4, and it's also really long. So it might take me a while to get through this, but that is okay because I am no longer having to do this in a certain amount of time. So yeah, this should be fun. It's a good July read, and it does have 2 different POVs, so that counts. Let's do roll number 2. Okay, an 8. Readers also enjoyed. Okay, this should be fun. I have to go to the Readers Also Enjoyed section on Goodreads and just see if I can find something I like or that I have access to. Okay, so for roll number 2, we landed on Readers Also Enjoyed, and for this, I went to the Readers Also Enjoyed section for Twisted Love by Anna Huang. And for this, I found a few options, but the one I'm going to go with is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is another one that I'm reading in audiobook form. I know next to nothing about it, except it's apparently like a fantasy romance version of The Hunger Games? That sounds interesting. So, sounds awesome. Let's do roll number 3. Okay, roll number 3. 10. Gods. Okay, so we need a book with gods in it. That is doable. Okay. So for our third book, we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians. For the first book in series number 1, The Lightning Thief. So, I think most of you probably know what Percy Jackson is. It has gods in it, just like the prompt said. And it's about a kid named Percy who finds out that he's half Greek god, half human. And he goes on this quest. Yeah, this is gonna be a reread for me. I read it years ago, but yeah, this is gonna be a fun reread. So let's do roll number 4. 9. Sword. Just something with a sword. I could have used powerless for this. Okay. So, for our next book, I'm going with Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I've started this before and didn't finish it, but I do remember there being a sword training scene. So, yeah. And this book is supposed to be really heartbreaking. It's about a guy who finds out that he's the bastard son of the guy who was supposed to be king. And then when he's found out about, his father abandons the throne, and he starts having a really tough life after that. Yeah. This is gonna be heartbreaking, and it's also really slow-paced if I remember correctly, so yeah, this one might take me a while, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay, roll number 5. 6. Oh no, an over 500-page book! Let's do this. Okay. So for our next roll, we got a book over 500 pages. And for this, I'm going with The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Anyway, this is an epic fantasy about this guy who ends up... At first, he doesn't want to go to war, he decides to injure himself, but then something happens that causes him to want revenge, and he decides he's going to become the greatest warrior of all time. So, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I have started that before, but I didn't finish it. Again, for a while I was really bad about finishing books, I will admit. But anyway, having that there makes me glad I didn't land on a snake, and hopefully I didn't just jinx myself, because we still have roll number 6 to get through. Okay, we do not want a 4. Anything but a 4, and I will be okay. Are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3. We need a book with the and of a or in the title. That's easy, but snake. Okay. So for our 6th roll, we landed on a snake, which means we now have 7 books on this TBR. But for this, I'm going with Of Jade and Dragons, because it has of and also and in the title. So that's easy enough. I got this in Illumicrate. You can see the gorgeous sprayed edges. This thing is beautiful. But let's just say that I don't know much about the plot of this. I know there's a revenge plot, and it's young adult, and apparently it's sort of like, it's sort of based on, like, ancient China a little bit, in a fantasy world. Sounds cool. Let's do what's hopefully our final roll. Please tell me we're not gonna land on a snake. Okay, are there any numbers we don't want here? Okay. We don't want a 6 and we don't want an 11. No 6s, no 11s, and I'm good. 7! There we go. And we're back on sword. I didn't want to do this month. But wait a minute. Better idea. And for our 7th and final roll, we have sword again. And this time I'm reading The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. This is book 5 in the Chronicles of Narnia. I've been meaning to continue this series. And yeah. I know that the mouse character here has a rapier, that's a sword, so yeah, this counts. And here is our stack, including The Voyage of the Dawn Treader for a book with a sword, Of Jade and Dragons for a book with of and or whatever else in the title, The Rage of Dragons, wow, this is going to be a dragon-heavy month, for what was that one for? Over 500 pages. And Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, again for a sword. The Lightning Thief for a book with gods. And 2 audiobooks, including Powerless for a Goodreads readers also enjoyed. And the Stopover for a multi-POV. So, this looks like a pretty good stack, even though it's long. Like, Rage of Dragons is over 500 pages. Assassin's Apprentice is over 400. Of Jade and Dragons is over 400. And The Stopover, one of my 2 audiobooks, is also over 500 when read in physical form. So yeah, this is a long TBR, but I think I'm gonna enjoy most of it. I'm pretty excited about this. And that's my video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Morgan from Rebellious Reading, and I'm out.